The Spirits Are Forever With You. The two light novels happening within the 17-month time period between the Fake Karakura Town arc and the Fullbring arc. There are 4 light novels that are known, that are published at the moment, and 2 that are being worked on as we record this podcast. However, the focus of these next few episodes, if not, this will be a 2-parter episode because of how much generalization goes into just this episode alone. We will be discussing The Spirits Are Forever With You, Book 1 and Book 2. Written by... the name is so hard to pronounce. Nari Tari Tar Iogo.
Forgive us, stupid Americans.
We are... Look, yes, I am nothing but a stupid American. And approved by Tite Kubo himself for both books, the second one being significantly larger. They focus on the power struggles that the Seireitei had, that Ichigo knew nothing about, and never once was it mentioned in the canon of the story. Joining me today is not Audrey, the beautiful co-host that I always have with me, but instead someone who is just as qualified. ReddAlexander is my co-host today on this very special episode of Seireitei Talk, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything Bleach related. Every time I have a new guest on, I ask them to do the simple, tell us your name, tell us about yourself, tell us where you're from, what's your social security number, stuff like that.
Oh, you're a funny guy.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm ReddAlexander. Let's see here. I'm from Michigan, because you asked where I was from. I'm not going to go any more detailed than that.
It's a big
I'd
city.
Say state.
State, well.
When it comes to Bleach, it was one of the shows that actually got me into the fandom that is anime. So I know a lot about it because I've rewatched it a lot, and I think I'm pretty qualified to be your co-host, at least on this and hopefully many future episodes.
Hopefully, yes. Jumping into this episode of the podcast, this is something that perplexes a lot of people, including myself, mostly because I believe in balance, strict balance, too. You can read my characters that I've created, you can read my articles that I have written. All of them focus around balance and how they can fit within the universe that is Bleach. These 2 novels are not that. While having much respect for Kubo and the author whose name I cannot pronounce because I am a stupid American, I have to say they are phenomenal in their own rights. They are technically possible, to my knowledge. Unfortunately, I am unable to read them because they are in Japanese, despite having physical copies of all 4 novels.
Get on that, Viz.
Yeah, for real. I want my American. Dude, I will buy the American. I will buy 10 copies and do giveaways with them. That'd be amazing. To understand Kampachi Azashiro, the 8th Kampachi, which is what these 2 novels focus around, we must first understand the Kampachi before him, Kampachi Kuririshiki, the Kampachi who was allowed to join the Zero Squad, but turned it down. This man contributed nothing to the Soul Society other than raw power. He was able to only use his Zanpakuto, his Bankai, once every 6 months, and his Bankai in general was prohibited from being used in the Soul Society in general. Redd.
And as I'm sure you'll remember, loyal viewers, which I'm hoping there's at least some, the Squad Zero, in order to join, typically, and not even typically, from what we had been told, you had to have contributed a major invention or just something big to the Soul Society in general. And so to be offered that position on pure strength, the strength must be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Ichibei, going to the contribution rights, Ichibei Hosuyube contributed the names of everything in the Soul Society, from Kido to Zanpakuto to what Seki Seki Rock is, even.
Yeah.
Nimaya gave us Kaido, Kido in general, things such as that. Oetsu Nimaya. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
No,
Korenji.
I was gonna say what?
Yeah.
I was about to
Korenji.
be like, I don't want to correct you on your.
Yeah. Nimaya gave us the Zanpakuto, the Asauchi,
Yes.
the stages of the Zanpakuto. Kiryu Hikifune, the latest member of the Zero Squad, gave us the Mod Soul, the Reishi pellets, things such as that. And Shutaro, I do believe that's his/her name. I don't think the gender is actually specified.
We'll never know. Well,
No.
it
Well,
was
in the
assumed,
viz.
It was assumed girl, but the suffix maru is usually male.
Yeah.
So,
And I know there are some translations where they say he in it. Correct?
Typically, those were mostly fan translation. Fan translation. The maru, they assume he. So I think the official is woman, but it is weird that that her name ends with maru, so it's up in the air.
Yeah. She/he contributed the fashion of the Soul Society. Not much of a contribution, but...
Hey man, it's important.
Yeah. And some even speculate that Kisuke was going to be indicted into the Zero Squad for contributing the research and development, as well as a refined version of the Hogyoku, I do believe. Because Sosuke Aizen created the Hogyoku first, as we both know. But going into Kyoriuri Shiki, the 7th Kampachi, his Zanpakuto, its name is Kamu Wario. Wario.
I was wondering if you were going to go there.
Like Unohana's Minazuki, it's a living creature type Zanpakuto. In Shikai, its command is prepare yourself. After birthing yourself by driving back the good fortune, accept the darkness as you make things gaunt.
Wait, that's the entire...
That's the release command for it. That is long.
So,
talk about all waves rise and become my shield, lightning strike down and become my blade. That has nothing on this one.
Something I want to bring up to the people watching. I purposefully have not read these novels so that I can... so we're thinking that I can, live react to this as someone who hasn't read them. So that's why I don't know about these. Anyway, go ahead.
It also has an alternate Shikai command, much like Gein's. Good aspect, slaughtering, birthing forth, glooming, esteeming, senses, and decay. That is, you think I'm kidding.
And the biggest challenge of the new fights is getting all that out before the opponent just stabs him.
I know, right? Its special ability, it allows Kyoriuri Shiki to summon countless grizzly bear-sized white ball-shaped creatures with large fangs to devour his foes. Now, if that just doesn't sound dope and sick as fuck, I don't know what it... That is metal right there. Pure metal.
I thought you were gonna stop at grizzly bears. Like, yeah, you can.
That'd be cool too. Like that'd be really cool. I wonder what his inner world looks like. Because when I see something like that, like white puff balls with fangs, I just imagine like his inner world is pink flowers and just like daisies and stuff, and they're like so cuddly just to him though.
Yeah, I wish. Oh, that's a good point. I wish Kubo expounded more on inner worlds.
Me too.
We've talked about that before, yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll save that for another episode. That's a great one. That's an amazing episode thing. It's Bankai. Bankai is Gageku Kairo. Alright? It means corridor of starving pleasure.
Ooh, I like the name.
That sounds erotic. Doesn't it?
I assume it's supposed to be one of those like weird...
symbolic things?
Well, those things were like... killing someone with pleasure. So like
killing them with love.
I know you're a pleb who doesn't watch Hunter x Hunter. I'm kidding.
We'll get into that later.
But in Hunter x Hunter there's a creature that literally like siphons the life from you, but while they're doing that, they give you pleasure.
Aw, that's sweet of them.
So you die not even knowing that you're dying. And by the way, before anyone asks, that hasn't been specifically explained. There was basically one picture shown of these creatures. They're called like monkey paps or something weird like that. I'd have to look it up. But it like showed a picture of like a weird like shriveled up looking like thing with like a cord that like went into like a dark shadowy cave, and they were all like sucked up and shriveled up, but they're all smiling, and then the subtitle said killed with ecstasy or something. Anyway. Yeah, so that's my assumption of what that is.
Gagaku Kairo can only its literal description says, but once he uses it, he can't release it within half a year, meaning he can only use his Bankai once every 6 months.
That's really overkill.
The Bankai's special ability. His Bankai's range reaches several times that of Jiruchi or that of the entire Seireitei. His Bankai allows Kyuriri Shiki to summon a jaw of the aforementioned size from the ground, which, at the time of its summoning, crushes everything without distinction of living or non-living between its teeth, the only exception being Kyuriri Shiki. Meaning this thing, when it's summoned, it destroys Sogyoku Hill, it destroys Squad 1 Barracks, it destroys the outer rim of the Seireitei, including the Seki bubble it has containing it, leaving no distinction between what was alive, what was dead, what was rubble, what was plant life, things such as that. And the only one living is Kyuriri Shiki.
So you know what this reminds me of? Have you ever read any Stephen King novels?
None at all. Unfortunately, I want to.
The Langoliers. And it basically, Stephen King's shit is really, really, really complex. But basically, it's about these people that were on a plane and they get like displaced in time, like by like 2 seconds.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they're basically, they get to witness what happens to time when it like goes away, and it gets eaten by these creatures called the Langoliers.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
And basically these creatures just come in and like eat reality.
Huh.
And that's what it makes me think of, because you said it was like puffballs with like teeth, so I'm just imagining these creatures just eating everything in sight, except for the guy, obviously. Yeah.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Head Captain, how could somebody possibly defeat that kind of immense raw power and special ability? Well, the thing about Kyuriri Shiki is he was a compassionate guy. He loved the thrill of a fight, much like a certain other Kampachi Zaraki. However, he considered his troops. He brought them into the equation. He did not want his troops to get harmed in any way, and that was including captains. He was best friends with Shunsui Kyoraku and in turn Jushiro Ukitake, which is what led to his ultimate downfall. When fighting Azashiro, he did not release his Bankai, simply for the fact that Shunsui and a few other squad members were standing right there watching the fight. If that's not best friend dedication, then I don't know what is.
That's awesome. Do you mind if I clarify something I mentioned earlier?
Sure.
Earlier, I was talking about the Hunter x Hunter creature. I was looking it up to make sure I got it right. I'm not sure where I got the word or the monkey part from, because it's never said, but the creature is called the Pap. And it's a mysterious beast that keeps men as pets, and so it's almost like has a leash around people, and it sucks their life dry, and you can see like they're all smiling and happy, so I assume that they're like being killed in ecstasy. Anyway, sorry, just to clarify that. So,
now, the thing about Azashiro, this is basically a character analysis of his power and ability. He's in a constant state of Bankai. How is that possible? I don't fucking know, man. That shit's stupid.
These novels love to make the most OP characters.
You should have heard Ryan's reaction to him. He flipped about him.
They sound like the people that wrote these novels sound like fan fiction writers that are like, and then he kills everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go ahead.
To put it blatantly, Azashiro's personality is basically always calm and collected. Does not matter where he is, who he's with, in the heat of battle, anything like that, he's always calm and collected. And respectively, with his Bankai's ability, you would be too.
Now, we got another Byakuya on our hands.
Oh no, this dude puts Byakuya to shame.
No, I meant calm and collected.
No, I know. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Byakuya gets a little rough against Asnot. This dude flat out goes against every single captain, and it's just like, you're mere nothing. You're mere pawns to my game.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. The name of Azashiro Zanpakuto is currently unknown, meaning we know nothing of his Shikai. But he's always in Bankai. Yoro Zankuro is the name of it.
Wait, is this a different person? Because I just want to clarify.
This is Kampachi Azashiro.
And who was the every 6-month guy?
Kyoriori Shiki.
Oh, that was different. Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware you were switching.
I'll show you. I'll send you pictures of them afterwards. All right?
Okay. Thank you.
Yoro Zakuro translates to rain and dew pomegranate. It is the name of Azashiro's Bankai form. It has been heavily rumored that his Zanpakuto remains in a constant release of Bankai. Now, as we know, cutting it right there, as we know, that is an impossibility. Every captain thought Zaraki was in a constant state of Shikai because nobody knew his Zanpakuto's name. Whereas Ichigo is in a constant state of Shikai, so that is technically possible, but I don't consider it because main character privileges.
Right. Well, there was there not a line around the time Kampachi went Bankai where Byakuya said perhaps the idea of constant Shikai was ridiculous to begin with?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Precisely, that is what he said.
Yeah.
In addition, Shunsui Kiraku noted that Azashiro was able to obtain his title by killing Kampachi Kyoriori Shiki in a single attack using his Bankai, implying that his strength is unrealistic. Now, as we were flat out told, Kyoriori Shiki was invited to be part of the Zero Squad because of his spirit energy alone. Now, what kind of god are we dealing with now? And how the fuck did Zaraki beat him?
Oh my gosh.
There does not seem to be visible form.
Yeah, I would attempt to say maybe because the thing that was revealed about Kampachi Zaraki, the unshackling himself thing, you know, like he gets stronger and stronger, but this guy sounds so strong it would seem impossible.
Exactly. Whew, I do apologize for that.
Yeah, it is a 2 a.m. for me, 1 a.m. for him. So
yeah,
please,
that's the
forgive
perks.
us.
That's the perks of recording in the middle of the night. There does not seem to be visible form of the Bankai on Azashiro's person, meaning you can't even see his Zanpakuto.
Oh gosh, so he's like kind of like Byakuya's.
He's the OPOC.
It's cringy, man.
It really is, but at the same time, it's so fascinating, isn't it? Think, what if this character was like the actuality that happened in the 17-month time skip? Because obviously we know Kisuke went to Yamamoto and said, we have to get Ichigo his powers back, and Ginryusai was like, of course we do, we owe him an extreme debt. You know?
Yeah. Check out Retro Rhino's animation.
Oh yeah, we gotta do the shameless plug. This episode was brought to you by Retro Rhino's Bleach Alternate Series. Make sure to go check him out.
I will be voicing Shinji, and he will be voicing Yamamoto.
And Basby. And Gerard.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. The power of Azashiro's Bankai is known as Yugo, or fusion/merge. As the name implies, it allows Azashiro to merge his being with other substances, whether they be living or non-living, organic or inorganic.
This sounds interesting.
That's fucking sick, right?
Yo. Do they have examples of how that could work?
Yes. Yes,
Do
they do.
tell.
Likewise, he can merge 2 or more substances together as well, that which he fuses with, or 2 is not limited just physical substances, meaning he can fuse his body with someone else's, or he can fuse someone else's body with an object.
Huh.
Yeah, I know, right? Talk about an OPOC.
I'm hoping there's some sort of weakness to that.
OPOC.
Do not steal.
And do not steal. Such things as the 5 senses can also be subjected to this ability. Ideally, not just physical, but anything mental and spiritual are also subjected to influence, meaning he can basically put thoughts into someone. He can pull a Professor Xavier.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? One such example is that he could merge his senses to the air surrounding the Seireitei, allowing him to know, see, and hear everything that occurs within the Seireitei's walls. He has omniscience. He is omnipotent. He is God.
Well, okay. I'm going to give this novel a break because I suppose these are all people these are all people in Muken, correct?
Yes. Azushiro is in Muken.
It is fair enough to say that all the people in Muken would be this strong, I suppose, because that's why they're in Muken. That's where Aizen went. So I guess that makes sense. Fair enough.
Using this same ability appears to allow him to outmaneuver Aizen's Kyokusogetsu.
Oh my gosh.
I knew that was gonna get you.
Well, because it's like these people are writing a Bleach novel.
I know.
Yes, we can fuck over Aizen.
I know. Aizen even states this in the Bleach novel when speaking to Azushiro, stating, "Why would I try to use my complete hypnosis on the one man in the Seireitei that it does not affect?"
Aizen said, and I quote, "This is bullshit."
Yeah. You are the OPOC. Do not steal. Which has the power of complete hypnosis, to the point that Aizen himself claimed Kyokusogetsu would be rendered useless against Azushiro, as I just stated. As a defensive measure, Azushiro can merge with the air so all enemies' attacks are unable to make contact with him. He can also use this technique to teleport vast distances effortlessly.
If I don't hear a weakness soon, I'm gonna get real annoyed.
You will eventually. Appearing akin to that of space-time manipulation.
Fucking.
I love reading it because it pisses people off so bad.
Because it's official, man. It's not like a.
I know. This is not a fanfic. Believe it or not. The degree to which Yoro Zankuro allows him to merge his being with desired targets is vast, such that some instances of this ability can be demonstrated as though Azushiro had done nothing whatsoever, or rather the effects had been put into motion is not noticeable. Whereas, in other circumstances, the merging power becomes visibly evident once the effect is put into action. Azushiro is able to produce a blade/razor-like effect in the air around him, allowing him to kill his opponents without a single motion or glance.
Ah, that's what you sent me.
Although the specifics at which this power is tied to his fusion ability is not clear. Now, what were you saying?
Well, first of all, I'll give credit where credit's due to whoever wrote it, that Japanese dude I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
It is a very clever power. It's certainly clever. It's just you gotta be slightly, because it's like Dragon Ball Z. The allure of Dragon Ball Z is everyone loves Dragon Ball Z because it's like, holy, they could sneeze and destroy a universe. It's so amazing.
Superman can do that.
Yeah, but that gets Superman's a perfect example of why that gets boring after a while.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
When your character's too overpowered, it gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you got to be careful.
Azashiro also has 2 other attacks, Setai Yugo, which is Living Body Fusion. One of his Bankai's ultimate techniques, Azashiro uses this ability to kill Kuryorishiki in a single move. While the specifics of this technique have not been made clear, it ideally allows him to merge with a victim's body and destroy them from the inside, thus destroying their internal body. However, doing so seems to make him vulnerable to damage. Meaning if he were able to do it, you'd have to attack him right afterwards. That's where the trump card comes in. And it's
there's your
fucking
one
retarded.
tiny weakness.
It's like so stupid, dude. Like, I'll tell you how he's defeated afterwards. Which even then, that's even more bullshit.
Oh my gosh, he's defeated?
Yeah. Yutsutsu. Imitate/copy. Azashiro is capable of copying his mouth and hands several times over, among other body parts, wink wink, nudge nudge, in several different locations at once. Wink wink, nudge nudge.
Well, what to do in prison?
I know.
A bunch of butt sex with other people.
Doing so allows him to utilize hundreds of high-level kidos such as Itokasu and Kurohitsugi at the exact same time, allowing him to effortlessly overpower a large number of opponents and even eradicate a captain-level opponent or stronger with overwhelming assaults of kido. The way Azashiro is defeated, how do you think he is? How do you defeat a god without another god?
Is it done with Aizen? I fucking figured.
Nope. It's not done with
really?
Aizen. Nope. Aizen has nothing to do in this entire novel other than have a polite conversation.
I like to imagine Aizen's just sitting in the corner, like, watching all this transpire, like, yeah.
To Sosuke Aizen, this is a quote. To make sure that I don't get an answer that has no value, I will say this before we begin. I do not take an interest in the sins you've committed, nor do I care for the power of the Hogyoku. Such things are a waste in my presence.
And that's what he said to Aizen?
Yes. The feeling of defeat cannot be understood by one such as myself. Arrogance. That seems to be a trait with all Kenpachis, which is respectively understandable. Am I correct in saying so? Listen, like,
yeah.
You know?
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this is probably like a compliment to you. When you said arrogant of all Kenpachis, I assumed that was Aizen. So, but I guess that was just something you said. So, bravo. You made a badass line.
Yeah. Well, when you're the Commander General. No. But, that being said, Azashiro also knows how to remove the Hogyoku from Aizen permanently, making him mortal.
Oh my god.
And the explanation may actually surprise you. Let's see. I don't think I can find it.
It's so like an OC. It's exactly like an OC because we're gonna make him be able to do all the could do in the canon.
Yeah.
It's not enough that he can kill everyone in one move. He can also do what Gin couldn't do.
Yeah. It's
spit all over Gin's grave.
I know, right? Fucking that's so I don't even like that. But it was something like we can cut him from the leg up to his eyes, skinning him, thus removing the Hogyoku from his body.
That's fair. That's you know what? That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fair way to do that.
Yeah. I thought that was clever.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, bullshit.
Actually, no, well, here's why I'm okay with that. Because I was expecting some bullshit like if you do this and you say Pinocchio 3 times and you go no, he fucking cut him up.
No, that's his Zanpakuto, who is a very busty woman.
Of course.
Dude, like his Zanpakuto is flat out hot.
you ever considered
That anime
a
isn't
male?
real? Yes.
Hey, shut up. You ever considered a male having sex with their female Zabato spirit would be
Multiple times.
self?
That,
Yeah,
that,
and
that would be masturbation, flat out.
exactly, it'd be masturbation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when it's like all those hentais where Naruto changes one of his clones into like Hinata and fucks himself.
That's... Wow. Okay. Now we know the mind of Red.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I do want that in the episode, by the way.
Oh, I was gonna keep it anyway.
Good. I want it.
Now, the first episode of this is obviously going to be focused around Kuriri Shiki and Azashiro. However, the second is going to be a bit more detailed as to what goes on in the light novels themselves, being the nice bug creature lady, who you may know, she is a canon character, by the way, as the nurse who fixed up Yami's arm. We're going to get into her. We're going to get into her in the second episode, which will be recorded probably not after this one, because it's 1:18 in the morning for me, and it's 2:18 in the morning for Red. So, ugh.
So scary.
No, we're gonna get trademarked by Ryan. Don't do that.
You can cut that out.
Yeah. Going into some things that really sparked my interest for this novel is Unohana had deep ties to Azashiro. What does this mean? Well, when she heard his name for the first time in the captain's meeting, when Yamamoto said,
Kampachi Azashiro's spirit energy.
I won't do the voice because I usually have to get loud when I do it, and my family is asleep.
Same here.
Has disappeared from Mukin. She grew a solemn face, and I know it sounds like I'm reading this, but I'm not. I'm actually trying to remember it. She grew a solemn face and looked away from everyone. Shunsui, being friends with Kuriri Shiki, noticed this as he looked around the room and thought to himself, I wonder if this has anything to do with the spider girl that I saw in my dream. No, we're not talking about Spider-Gwen. We're talking about
the spider girl.
We're talking about the Arankar chick, whose name is... Give me one moment. I know it. I promise I'm not looking it up. Her name is Roka Palamai. Or Palamay. IA makes the A sound, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up to be 100% sure, but I'm not going to. Unless you want to.
No, I'm not looking that up.
Okay.
Now, the biggest question is, how was Azashiro defeated? As I stated before, how do you defeat a god without a god? And Red said, of course Aizen was involved. He was actually not involved at all.
That's
unless
surprising.
It was the first fight. The way Azashiro was defeated was by trying to use his full body fusion against Zaraki. But, and you were so right, it's so bullshit.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the bullshit.
It was that Kampachi's organs were too hard for him to merge with.
Okay. So, how similar is that? I want you to compare that to the Grammy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Grammy? How he couldn't comprehend Kampachi.
Yep. So he imagined himself to be as strong as him, and his body exploded. Well, once doing the full body, yeah, I know. Once doing the full body fusion, and it not working, Zaraki simply went, huh, and sliced him in half.
Boring.
Fucking yeah, that's what he did. He sliced him in half.
He did that classic picture where he slices Ginjao, or not Ginjao, what the fuck was his name, Guriko, in half, and he says, fucking boring.
That's basically what he did. And in my opinion, Zaraki should have fucking died.
Yeah, Zaraki should have died in a novel in between time skips, so that when you read the manga reader, oh yeah, by the way, dead. What?
Yeah, no, dude, can you imagine Azushiro and Aizen working as a team to defeat Yuha? Yo.
All I needed. Okay, you know what?
Yo.
Can we have a tangent of like actual, or can we have like a side tangent about
Side tangent.
Am I allowed?
There you go. About what?
All right.
About what?
That one glorious chapter where Aizen fought Yuha.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. It was
Me
so
too.
good.
I just wanted Aizen's Bankai though.
That needed to be 10 chapters long.
Oh yeah, no, 12 at the very least. 12 chapters. Like Baby Hold Your Hand was too. Baby Hold Your Hand. Those chapters were phenomenal. Drug out to hell, in my opinion. But Aizen versus Yuha should have been twice that. Twice that. Not even one chapter. It was like what, 2 pages?
No, Aizen Yuha was about one.
1.5 chapters.
I know 783, I think. Or 73. Wait, one of those. But it was the chapter where it's because remember, it was all Aizen.
Yeah.
All those like it was illusions, like, until the very end.
Yeah.
So it really was just Aizen fucking with Yuha, and it was beautiful.
I loved it.
It was so beautiful. I loved that fight because it was just such a weird moment to see Aizen actually have to try.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically he had to try against Ichigo, but we all know how that turned out.
I guess this one felt more even to me.
Yeah.
Because that one was like a full-sided stomping. That was boring. This was like, this felt like the first time you see Aizen like legit like have to think and like, because Aizen was like panicking against Ichigo. This was like Aizen legit like, okay, how am I gonna do this?
This was Aizen formulating a plan throughout the entire arc, using that plan, and actually overpowering Yuha. I actually gotten another side tangent real quick. I actually got in an argument with someone that said Yuha was stronger than Aizen. By leagues. Now, here's the thing. No, that is incorrect 100%. Do you know why?
I have to think about it.
Do you know why, though?
Hogyaku?
No, fuck that.
Are you talking about just physical strength?
No, spirit energy and physical strength and all that. It's wrong because of the simple fact that we have seen flat out that if somebody's spirit energy is strong enough, they are completely able to negate an attack or an ability.
Like the soy phone thing, yeah.
Like the soy phone and Aizen, or the Kampachi and Grimmy.
Yeah. Actually, that's a much better way of looking at that.
Yeah. So if Yuha were leagues above Aizen, he would have not been affected by Kyoka Sogetsu at all.
That's true. Well, I don't think that he's leagues above Aizen. Roughly equal during that fight. That's how I saw it.
But you also have to realize Aizen had the BDSM racial restraints on.
BDSM, and then Yuach had all that shit he absorbed. So so I mean, yeah, and well, plus, and you gotta. I think one of the best ways to look at how much spirit energy Aizen had was the fact that he was very confident in the fact that he could shoot down the Soul Palace with his spiritual energy alone.
And he was doing it too.
Yeah.
That's mind blowing in its own right.
From a casual sitting down position.
A very comfortable sitting down position.
Yeah. Best chair.
Chair's waifu. Best waifu. The events that took place with Azushiro happened 200 years ago, before the Quincy invasion, before the Fullbring arc. So, obviously, it's safe to assume 198 years ago, after
so that would have been
the defeat.
Probably, yeah.
Before the defeat of Aizen.
I was comparing that to when Turn Back the Pendulum was.
Okay. Turn Back the Pendulum was actually 100.
Yep, it was 110 and then 100, correct? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You can know this because Kensei Rojiro and Shinji all became seated officers at the time of Azashiro's rebellion. Now, the thing about this is Azashiro was never a captain. After he killed Kyoriori Shiki, he went on his murderous rampage. In fact, he went on his rampage and murdered Kyoriori Shiki at the same time.
So he's like technically, but he
Yeah.
never got to serve as one. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's still fucking bullshit that he was defeated. Azashiro's my favorite Kenpachi. There is no doubt, just because of how clearly overpowered he fucking is.
But I was under the impression that you didn't like the overpowered thing.
I
Same as me.
love the fact that he's I don't like. I don't know. I just like it because he's so broken. It's funny, you know. It's almost comical because of how broken they both are.
Well, that reminds me of what I always tell people is I like smart-ass characters.
Oh, me too.
Hold on, there's a caveat though.
Oh.
I like smart-ass characters as long as they can back it up.
Mm-hmm. Like Shinji.
Yeah, and yes, before anyone says shit in the comments, Shinji fucked up numerous times in the final arc, and I am sad about that. I'm very sad about that. But I'm referring to the Shinji that fucked Grimjow's shit up, and I'm referring to the Shinji that was the first one to hurt Aizen. Okay, I'm just saying.
Azashiro, during the fight with Zaraki versus Azashiro, for those of you who are curious, Azashiro's full name is Soya Azashiro, Soya Azashiro.
Could you explain why Zaraki?
Say that again. You cut out.
Could you explain why Zaraki was fighting him? What is the context of the fight here?
I was actually just getting to that.
My apologies. Go ahead.
No, because that actually gets to the transition. Yamamoto stood in front of Azashiro, and Azashiro was about to fight Ginryusai until Zaraki stepped in. And Ginryusai stated, to fully obtain the title of Kenpachi, you must defeat Azashiro. Do so now. Okay. And Zaraki said, with pleasure. And that's where the fight began. Yeah, I know. That sounds powerful as fuck, right?
He was like trying to train him a bit more over the time scale?
Exactly. Ginryusai saw this as a test for Zaraki to overcome, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's very...
It's like a precursor of what happened with Unohana.
Yep. I like it a lot. I really do. It's very...
Yeah, makes sense.
It sets up some magic right there. Something not a lot of Bleach stuff is good at. However, after Azashiro's imprisonment, they simply gave it to his vice captain. So he did technically serve a little while as a captain, you know. But he had been planning the... I don't know.
Murderous rampage.
Yeah. After that, the title of Kenpachi was given to Gikanjo after the 9th was cut down. Then it was given to Zaraki. Now, if you really want to get technical, Zaraki is the 2nd, 9th, and 11th Kenpachi. Why? Because he cut down Unohana, who was the 1st, Azashiro, who was the 8th, and Gikanjo, who was the 10th.
Yes.
So what I want to know, what I would like some backstory on, is the Kampachi lineage. You know?
Like all of them.
Yeah. I'd like to know some stuff about them. What their Shikais and Bankais were, how they obtained the title. How did the second one obtain the title of Kenpachi? You know?
Well, I've been saying this for a long time. Bleach needs another data book.
Oh, fuck yes, dude. They just... screw the light novels. Give me a data book.
I'm okay with both.
Azashiro never showed his Zanpakuto, the blade in general. When questioned about it, he stated, "You have already seen it," because he was called to Central 46 for judgment. And they flat out said, "Where is your Zanpakuto?" and he says,
You have already seen it.
which gives me goosebumps. Because he's in a constant state of bunkai.
Yeah. Oh, look at me, I'm such a badass.
Mm-hmm. Asashiro is the only exception to the Kampachi rule before we knew about Retsu. Because obviously she's the first Kampachi, blah, 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 this, that, these, those. You know?
Right.
To put it in terms, we don't know Asashiro's motive. We don't know
Why he killed everyone.
why he wanted to kill everyone. From his personality, he was a very calm and collected man.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah. He never seemed to speak out of line. He never seemed to even come close to just snapping. So what made him snap? What was the characteristic that he said, I'm fed up with you fools. I will rule over you. I am powerful enough to do anything, except apparently break a few organs. It would have made more sense, in my opinion, if he said Zaraki's spiritual pressure was too much for him to handle.
Yeah, because that's always been his thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking on the Reddit right now to see if I can find anything on his personality. But no. Yeah, I've already shown it. No one in the Gotai 13 or Central 46 had ever seen Asashiro's sword. When questioned about it by the Central 46, he refused to say anything further with a simple line, I've shown you already.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's very... He's something. He really is. His Zanpakuto, Yuro, Zankuro, I believe in calling a Zanpakuto by its Bankai name rather than its Shikai, because the Bankai is its full name, as we've seen with Soyo Zabimaru, and all the rest of them. Ichibe Hosuyube flat out says, your Zanpakuto doesn't trust you enough, therefore it did not tell you its full name.
Mm-hmm.
I call my Zanpakuto Rebinji, for short, because its full name is Rebinji Akuma no Senshi. If I pronounce it wrong, don't tell me anything, okay? We've established we're stupid.
That's the first time I've heard that. That's legitimately cool sounding, by the
It means the fallen demon warrior. And he takes the form of a samurai when he manifests.
That's cool.
My OC is a complete episode on its own.
It's because, like,
As
literally,
most are.
I was just thinking about the Japanese words I know, and, you know, they're like stereotypical ones, like baka and, you know, kamero and all this. So I was just thinking of, like, making a Zanpakuto name. I was just thinking about making a Zanpakuto, like, with all those, like, stereotypical Japanese words, like, my Zanpakuto is baka. Translates to stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go ahead.
Really, if you hear thunder in the background, I do apologize. It is thunderstorming at my house. We have hail warnings, we have thunder warnings, we have tornado warnings, we are flash flood warning as we speak.
It's just Holly Bell and Toshiro working together to come get you.
Yo, if Holly Bell wants to come get me, hey.
Did you say there was thunder too?
Yeah.
Add Chojiro into there.
I was about to say.
Chojiro Sasakibe.
Kubo forgot about the lightning element until the last. It's crazy. That's such a use.
I know.
Kubo never used it until.
Retsu, Kyoraku, Shinji, Rose, and Kinsei are the 5 captains who recognize the name Kampachi. Ukitake, Zaraki, and Mayuri are absent from the meeting for obvious reasons. This is the beginning of the book, actually. It opens up in the captain's meeting, not in Mukin, like I said previously. I do apologize. However, going back to this dude is a bullshit OC, his OPOC.
Right.
We've stated he's unaffected by Kyoka Soigetsu. That should not be able to happen. My Zanpakuto negates Zanpakuto abilities, which, after reading this, I mean, hey, anything's possible. We'll get into how that's even more broken in the second part of this episode, which we will continue later. For now, we will be ending it off. Unfortunately, we haven't reached an hour, but who knows, maybe one day we will. In the next episode of Seireitei Talk, we will be talking about what's her name, the Arrancar girl who nursed Yami's poor arm back to health.
And then got her head crushed.
Completely decimated.
Or smashed into a wall, depending on if you watched the anime or read the manga.
Yep. Roca Palama. And a sneak peek at Xylaporo Grans and his secret life. How he is able to have a brother of Ilfort Grans. And his secret clone.
Dramatic.
Without further ado, pals, I will catch you all later in the next exciting episode of Seireitei Talk. Stick tuned for next time.
That was my marker.
Stick tuned next time as
See ya,
ReddAlexander joins me.
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye, pals.
See ya.
If you wish to hear us talk about a certain topic in another episode, make sure to leave it in the comment section below, and your comment might be talked about in the next episode of Seireitei Talk.